Our second series of Mindfulness Mondays. My name is Lea Hunter. I'm a therapist here at Family Matters of Coastal Georgia. Last week, Molly had mentioned or done her topic on depression and suicide in our youth, our adolescents. And I'm going to build off of that today, kind of going on cyberbullying. And many parents and our youth know about that topic very well. I'm basically going to just do a little talk on what cyberbullying is, kind of give you a little bit of information of what to lead you in the direction of what to do about it, a little bit of statistics and some research, and kind of point us in the direction of where we can go now that that is basically what we're dealing with today. What would do a little bit of comparison of what bullying is in traditional sense and what is cyberbullying, of the differences in that. Bullying in traditional sense is more of time and event specific. Let's say if you're going to go to a particular class, or if you're going to go to a particular event, in the traditional sense, if you know that your bully or person that is your foe is going to be there, there's a build-up phase and then there's a release phase, because sometimes we want to do anything at all costs to avoid that particular person, avoid that particular scenario, that particular event. But the feelings are still very similar. The anxiety, depression that we have related to that event or that person is very similar and still the same in cyberbullying. The difference, though, with cyberbullying is ever more present. It's very much there, and it's all encompassing. There's almost like a trapped feeling, and it's almost always present. That you don't get in the sense with traditional bullying. So what makes cyberbullying? It's very easy to decipher between the two, because the internet, we all know about that. Even though the internet has given us great and glorious advances and a lot of wonderful things, but with anything good, there's always some negative drawbacks to that too. So just like information is at our fingertips, so can bullying be at our fingertips. So to our youth and our adolescents, it can feel like we can't escape it. It's no longer an event or a particular time would the bullying be. It can almost feel like there's no escape from it. So what are a lot of challenges that our adolescents or pre-youth, pre-adolescents will encompass will be whether it's a text message, whether it's a group text, whether it's an app, whether it's social media. They're faced with whether it's comments, whether it's slurs, whether it's fake stories, or it's just something that's made up. It's said about them. And one of the things that's a very tricky layer to this is, let's say, middle school. One of the typical developmental phases that is to be expected in middle school, adolescent, pre-adolescent stages, is to find your identity, to find your acceptance group. You want to be liked. You want to find who you are, be on that path to finding who you are. That's just to be part of middle school. But imagine that used as a weapon against you, because what is social media? Likes. Or am I going to find my worth through a like today, or the pictures on Instagram? Imagine that used against you. And for our adolescents and our youth, that's considered in their mind the end-all be-all worst thing that could ever happen. And we know as parents and as those who have the cognitive abilities to rise above that, to know that that is not exactly the truth. But to the youth who has defined what social media and the internet has defined what matters, that is what their reality is. So Harvard has done some research, and Yale has as well. But Harvard has done a lot of research, and I'm going to post links to this at the end of the video. But I'll go ahead and give you the link if you want to look. mcc.gse.harvard.edu that has a lot of information showing that we have over the years evolved to be less empathetic. We've lost a lot of our social skills where we don't have that interconnection with others that we used to have. That it's easier to just hide behind a screen and objectify the other person and say horrible, mean things about the other person behind a screen. So Harvard has put forward a lot of curriculum to go into the schools or for the teachers, parents, teachers, educators to build programs called a Making Caring Common project to bring forward teaching how to care for others again, teaching empathy. And empathy is basically the concerned response for another person, the thinking, the feeling, the physical reaction and responses to feel within our body and to have care and concern for another person again. And it starts in the elementary school level to where we care all the way to the custodial person again, to where there's activities that we teach from our parents to the teachers to everyone throughout our community, that we show kindness, that we show connection, that we show relationships within our community, that we learn that kindness and caring matters. That matters above high achievement, above high gains, above being liked above all else at the demise of others. That those things isn't what makes us better than other people, that caring really matters. So we got to get back to the grassroots. We got to get back to really showing that care and love, all of that acceptance is what matters. So going to teachers, and we have teachers and parents. So your youth, you want to show your child that you are a refuge, that if they're being bullied or if they're being picked on, you want them to come to you. You want to show and exhibit that love and kindness to them, that they can come and talk to you instead of having fear that, oh no, they're going to take my phone away. Yes, you need to protect them, but also the first thing in their mind should be that my parent is a refuge. My parent is going to save me from what's happening. So you want to be their first line of defense so that they aren't trying to hide and feel that they can resolve this for themselves, because going back to what Molly talked about last week, depression and anxiety and suicidal thoughts, because when they're targeted and they're bullied, those feelings and the mental health issues are real. That's why depression and anxiety among our youth is so high. And bullying and cyberbullying is one of the top triggers that lead to those type mental health issues. And this is a real issue within our youth. And we've seen it here in our community in Camden County and in other counties around. And so you want to be a safe place, and you want to reach out and get counseling for your children. And we are one of many places that are available, and you want to reach out. And we are a resource for your children and for anyone that wants to reach out. So be a refuge. And reach out to the school board, reach out to the schools and ask if they are interested in maybe doing some of the common caring projects that Harvard has put forward in trying to lower the bullying that is pervasive throughout the country. They've got research to show and illustrate that academic increases, bullying decreases, and that depression and anxiety also decreases along with suicidal thoughts. So that is my topic for this week in Mindfulness Monday. And I leave you with the thought of doing something random and kind for someone today and this week.